In this demonstration, we're going to adjust the sagittal depth at the edge of the lens and also adjust the width of the reverse curve here. The first thing we'll want to do is right-click on the graph and just see how much depth we currently have. And so here at the pink control point, you can see we're at 1690. And so if our target is to decrease this by 35 microns, then our new target will be 16, I guess 55. And so to kind of speed that up, we'll go into 8x mode here and just click up. This makes the lens more shallow. We're at 1664. And we're at 1655 exactly. So we're all set here. The lens is going to be a little bit flatter out here in the alignment zone now, and this will allow the more central part of the lens to settle down onto the cornea. If we right click again, we can see that our OZ, our red control point, is set at 6.2, and our blue, our IC point, is at 6.6, and so this gives us an approximate reverse curve width of 0.4 millimeters, which is actually only 0.2 millimeters since these are chord lengths all the way across. So each reverse curve on each side of the lens is only 0.2 millimeters wide, and so that's probably a little bit too narrow, and too narrow of a reverse curve can cause the lens to be kind of unstable. So in this case, what I would do is maybe aim for a differential of 0.7 millimeters, and that'll give us 0.35 width of reverse curve. So I'm going to shift the OZ control point inward so that we're at 5.9. Before doing that, we want to make note that our base curve is 9.45 with a corresponding power of plus 1.71, and that's because when we move this point, and we want to just move it horizontally, we'll see that our base curve got a little bit flatter, and so we need to readjust that. Let's go back here into 4x mode, and we'll steepen the base curve until we're at about where we used to be. Okay, that's getting pretty close. Now, if you look at the back surface, if we kind of zoom in on the back surface of the lens, you can see inside the optic zone there's a little bit of toricity here. And let's zoom back out. In fact, if we go through the different meridians and you watch the base curve and power down here, you'll see there is some variability. And so even though we made this change in 100% mode, sometimes the software calculation isn't completely precise, and the change we're making doesn't come through exactly uniform. So we do want to go in and tune this up a little bit. Let's go into 25% mode so we can go into each individual meridian. I think we were aiming for 9.45, so that one is pretty close already. This one we can probably make a little bit steeper still. And most of the time you won't be able to get your exact base curve, but you should be able to get pretty close. Now, if we zoom back in here, you can see that it's more spherical at the center of the lens. So those are the changes being proposed for this particular lens. You can duplicate the changes to the lens for the patient's left eye as well.